Yeah, this gonna be a quick live. We're gonna be on here too long. But Xander Zayas responded to Vergil Ortiz caught me off guard. I seen that right as it happened. I really wasn't expecting that to happen today. I wasn't even thinking of that as a rivalry right now. At 154, so much shuffling going on. I wasn't even thinking about Xander Zayas or the Vergil Ortiz matchup. There was starting to be a lot of talk about Boots and Zayas, but Ortiz, he feel like he's way better than Zayas, especially with his resume. And I'm not surprised he said something about it. Yeah, I'm definitely not surprised he said something about that. The way the resume stack up against each other. I mean, Zayas still young. He still got some decent names, but the resume stack up the way it stacks up. You know what I'm saying? It's a good resume, but for 22, I think Zayas got a good resume. But was with Vergil Ortiz, you would definitely think the guy could be a champion with the two wins he had recently, but just got him at the wrong time. I understand both sides, but if you're Ortiz, he knows why Zayas is in that position. But Fundora, he could have fought him. So it was a fight there where Zayas had to earn something, but Fundora went the other way. I would have told Tim Zoo, hey, wait till I have this fight, then, you know, we'll have that fight. But they went along with the fight. So it's not really Zayas' fault that his resume kind of lacking right now. Yeah, all he needed was that Fundora fight. So I can't really put no blame on him at all. He even came to the fight. He even came to Fundora's fight, was backstage and everything. Jumped in the ring. I think he had did like a interview the day before. Yeah, it took a couple of pictures. Bro was taking pictures like he won the belt. Yeah, he took a couple of pictures in the ring. If you type in Fundora and Zayas, man, this man got like 4 or 5 poses in the ring after Fundora beat Booker. Yeah, that'll be a very good matchup though. You can't sleep on a fight like that. But 54, it's not really too much pressure on 54 because we already know what's gonna happen. I don't think it's too much of a problem. You already know what's gonna happen in that weight class. They haven't had too many weak. If you look at the championship fights recently, haven't had too many weak fights at 54. So I think they'll be able to handle that as far as what's gonna happen in the future in that weight class. All this worrying, it's just kind of extra. Yeah, they're gonna fight somebody. We just don't know who. Xander, not Xander Zayas, but Vergil Ortiz next fight gonna be. I'm hearing they're talking about Santian being Zayas next fight. Man, ain't nobody trying to see that, man. I ain't trying to see that. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm okay with Santian fighting anybody, but at 54, fight for a belt right now? Nah, no way. That's like Brian Norman getting stopped last year. I'm just saying hypothetically. And then this year he gonna fight for a belt. Nah, that wouldn't happen. So nah, I'm not co-signing that. Cause that ain't finna happen. Yeah, Santian ain't even had a fight at 54 yet. So he just gonna step right to 54 and fight for a belt. Nah. Yeah, it's too many names at 54. Zayas gotta fight somebody else. Shoot, Brandon Adams just lost, and that's a better fight. I mean, he could fight Santian if he want to, but he go out there and fight, and he don't knock him out at all. That's gonna look bad. So I wouldn't even play around with that. Yeah, if I was Xander Zayas, I wouldn't even play around with a Santian fight. Him going out there and not knocking out Santian after what Norman did recently, it'll destroy all his momentum. So if I was him, I would just try to get another 54. Somebody who got a lot of potential or somebody who's done a lot. They got a lot of guys at 54 who's done a lot. But I don't hear too much hey, you can be next. I don't hear too much of that going on. So yeah, they know what time it is on the schedule right now. Because everybody already got fights. And then guys coming off of injuries. I know Vergil Ortiz ain't finna fight nobody. They already said a couple of months ago. Not saying that he don't fight nobody. I'm just saying not right now. But he coming off an injury. And they tried to get the Baccarat fight a couple of months ago. So yeah, I know it's probably gonna be like early next year or something next until something pop off. But what are they gonna do for Xander Zayas? How many times he fought with? Let me see. He ain't fought in Puerto Rico since 2020. Yeah, so he ain't fought in Puerto Rico since 2020. Maybe he fight in Puerto Rico again. He got a belt. I can see him fighting in Puerto Rico again. So don't be surprised if that happens. But yeah, that's the only reason I can see why he's not gonna try to look for a certain name or somebody who's impressive. But Santion, come on, man. Yeah, that's kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. There's too many names at 54 to be fighting Santion right now. Yeah, that ain't too far from fighting. That's almost like fighting Danny Garcia right now. I don't know if people know it or not. Danny Garcia only been stopped one time, so it's not like this guy gets stopped all the time. So that's almost like fighting Danny Garcia or something. You might as well fight Danny Garcia. It sounds stupid, but it actually don't. Danny Garcia just fought Laura, and he Puerto Rican. But yeah, that's just me talking. But Vergil Ortiz, he feels like he's a better fighter than Xander Zayas on paper and in the ring by performance. And what he's been doing lately, he absolutely is. He's definitely the best guy without a belt right now. Yeah, he's definitely the best without a belt. That's why he probably feels the way he does. It's like, man, I can't believe this guy just got a belt. I should have a belt right now. And at one point, they were talking about actually having Fundora versus Vergil. So that actually could have happened of him becoming the champion. I'm saying. Yeah, he could have became a champion already. It's just been a lot of shuffling going on. People were trying to place themselves in position for a Crawford fight instead of just getting the belt. Like, let's be real. I seen last year a lot of people were positioning themselves, or their fighter was getting positioned for Crawford fight. They didn't think the Canelo fight was gonna happen. But I knew last year I was like, yeah, he gonna have that Canelo fight. Yes, I know they gonna have that fight. And here we are now. Sometimes some of this stuff gotta happen. What's up, Taj? What's up, man? He said what I feel about Joshua Edwards fight tomorrow. I feel like it's gonna be a good fight. He's just getting warmed up to the pro game, so I'm not really looking at the opponents too much. But I think Edwards gonna go in there and just, get more accustomed to the pro game. I did see the guy he's fighting has a better record though, and never been stopped. So we'll see. But he's definitely not gonna be on Edwards' level. It's gonna be a while for Edwards fight a guy that's close to his level. It's not a lot of people out here like that. But yeah, he's just working his way up right now. Yeah, the fight is 6 rounds. He hasn't had any fight go past 2 rounds yet. Yeah. So yeah, I think Edwards gonna be good, man. I know he's getting the knockouts right now, but he's gonna be more so of a guy like a heavyweight that boxers like Usyk down the line. Not to say that same style, but he can get knockouts too. But he's gonna be outboxing a lot of heavyweights easy. They don't try to reward that style in the amateurs. They try to make it seem like he was a runner in the amateurs. That's why the running stuff is it's overrated. Whatever they talking about is it's not. I don't like it. Ever since he was considered like a borderline runner, I was like, nah. That's why I don't like the running stuff when they be talking about it. It's actually because of him, not because of any other fighter. Now he in the pros and he knocking dudes out. But yeah, they don't know guys can switch it up from the amateurs pros. It's just a different fight. It's a different fight game. Yeah, but I think Edwards gonna beast tomorrow. I'm still mad about him getting robbed in the Olympics. The guys that was in the Olympics that did get past and go further than him, they won't do anything in the pros on the level he's gonna be doing. So yeah, I think he's just getting accustomed to the fight game. It's gonna be a couple of years before he's really where he need to be, but dude is a problem though. I already stamped him as one of my favorites. Probably had to be last year when I ran across him. And that was in a loss. Yeah, I felt like that was a robbery in the Olympics. I'm like, wow. Okay, I won't be watching this. Matter of fact, his fight was the only fight I saw. And then once that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I turned it off. So that's how bad he got robbed. But yeah, dude's a beast. I really haven't broke his style down all the way, but if I had to compare him to somebody, probably like Evander or somebody, like Evander Holyfield or something. Because he can punch and box easy. If you want to get in a fight, technical fight, whatever you want to do, he definitely with it. Yeah, I was surprised he actually fighting tomorrow, man. Somebody told me. I guess I need to do a prediction. It's a couple of guys. Phillips is fighting tomorrow. They got him listed at 5'11", but he looks tall, man. They saying he's 5'11". I don't know, man. Yeah, yeah, I don't know about that. That dude might be a little taller than 5'11". Yeah, cause he was taller than Oscar at the weigh-ins. Yeah, maybe I'm tripping though. But yeah, he's gonna be a problem though. This dude Phillips. I checked him out a little bit. Know a little bit about him, not a whole bunch, but out of Maryland. Matter of fact, I need to follow him. Yeah, bro, gonna be on. He gonna be on point tomorrow. I think that's probably why I'm gonna have to check in early. Yeah, that's probably why I'm gonna check in early. This fight card gonna be good. I've been looking at it. I know the names on there, but I really haven't just looked at it. Looked at it. I wanted to just react to it more. I was focusing more in on the co-main event and the main event. But the undercard is actually good though. This is actually one of the best undercards Golden Boy put together. I don't know. It might be the best so far. If that Benjamin and Rankin fight and then Williams and Conker's fight is impressive, this might be a good fight card tomorrow. I think this one underrated. It's not a lot of big fights coming on this weekend, but they sleeping on this one. Kenneth Sims and Duarte both have 2 losses, but it's gonna be a good fight tomorrow. I honestly don't know, man. Both of these guys be showing up and putting on some good performances when you don't expect it. So it's gonna be a very good fight. It's gonna be underrated. It's gonna be one of them fights where it's gonna happen and a lot of people gonna be talking about it. Because most fights, guys, they gotta let their hands go too much. They could just cruise, even in a fight like this. But I think him and Duarte are gonna throw a lot of punches tomorrow. There's a lot of pressure on Duarte too to actually let his hands go. So Sims got to be ready for that. So I expect Sims to be in drill mode tomorrow. He got to be, because Duarte coming to your hometown. He acting like it's his show, and he in your hometown. So yeah, that should motivate you enough right there. So I'm expecting him to be highly motivated. I just want to see the energy. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see the energy at a high level. Go to that level you can only go to in front of your home crowd. Ain't got to be one of those. But yeah, I expect a very good fight though. It's gonna be a very good fight. That stare down was definitely real. That's one of the realest stare downs I've seen all year. Cause the Duarte been talking that trash. So we're gonna see. But yeah, I'm gonna look at these other guys on this undercard. I ain't had a chance yet, but this might be one of those undercards, man. We'll have to look back in a couple of months and say, hey, this was a good undercard. Because I would say Duarte's last few fights, ever since he fought Ryan Garcia, he been having some good fights. Especially what he's been doing. So yeah, this is a must see, to be honest with you. He stopped Jojo Diaz, Akhmadov. He went 10 rounds. Then he stopped Mariano. And that's the same guy that Keyshawn had some issues with. And Claggett did too. Claggett couldn't stop him either. He beat him, but he couldn't stop him. And Duarte went out there and stopped dude. So yeah, Duarte's at his peak right now. Whatever his prime is, he in his prime right now. And Duarte is saying that Sims ducked him because they were supposed to fight in November. Sims had an injury, pulled out of. Duarte said he was ducking the fight or whatever. I ain't know he had put a dead duck. I mean, his head on a dead duck or whatever. I ain't know that. If that happened, yeah, he definitely got to check him about that in the ring. Ain't no way he should be letting that slide. But yeah, I think that's gonna be a very good fight though. I can't wait for it to happen. But yeah, Oscar Duarte is definitely the favorite. You know, they're gonna expect him to be the guy who's gonna be the winner. Uh, Especially with the stoppage over Mariano. That's the only reason he's gonna be the real favorite going into this fight. Yeah, they definitely think he separated himself with that one. And that was a good win too. That was a real good win. Outside of that Ryan fight, that's why I was saying, man, outside that Ryan fight, dude don't look too bad. Yeah, he's having some good performance. I think I just with Sam though, he just gotta keep boxing. Keep jabbing, keep that jab in his face. Duarte jabs too, mixes it up, throws some good combinations, some good uppercuts. He can throw just about every punch there is, but if you can jab and move, it can cause a lot of issues with him. It may be weak to the body too, to be honest with you. If I'm seeing him, I'm going to the body all day. If I'm Duarte, I'm just trying to fight the inside with Sims, get him to throw some combinations, exchange some big punches. But Duarte usually just had a high guard, man, and just maneuvering around the jab, whatever punch is coming his way. Yeah, that's gonna be a very good fight, though, man. But Duarte is not. You can't sleep on him. He's the favorite, so they're definitely expecting him to go in there and win, no matter if it's Kenneth Sims' hometown or not. They definitely expected Duarte to win. So if you're Sims, you got to know that, and just know that you got to win clear rounds. It shouldn't be like that all the time, but just being real. The way they score around these days, it's getting crazy. Guys might win the last 30 seconds to get the whole round. So yeah, you gotta know what's going on. But yeah, I think this is actually a good fight though. Underrated rivalry, kinda. From what I seen, it seems like an underrated rivalry that's built up because the first fight didn't happen. Yeah, I'm expecting some fireworks tomorrow. And Duarte, he's been working with Robert Garcia. Garcia's been getting them right. I think the last fight, the reason he got a stoppage was because he was with Garcia. Dude been in the gym hard too, especially last year. Last year, the guys I seen in the gym the most, just from me scrolling and stuff like that, wasn't from searching, was Duarte, Sims, Norman, mostly guys that wasn't fighting. Vergil Ortiz, might have been Rio. But yeah, man, those guys like that. To my all the time. So I can definitely tell you Duarte been getting better. Like Duarte been getting so good, I don't know how good he is right now. Because in between his last with the JoJo fight, I knew he was still good. I knew the Ryan fight. It was something weird about that. And obviously I don't know what went on during the whole situation, but we know what happened after. But I said, this dude actually a good fighter. I don't know how he got stopped to the body. And with the JoJo fight, he went out there and stopped JoJo. But I thought JoJo still could have kept going. You know, it was a referee stoppage, but I thought JoJo could have kept going. But Oscar was winning. Ahmedov, he went out there and performed well. Late replacement. It was supposed to be Sims. Then came out his last fight with Mariano and was stalking the guy, throwing some big shots on him, had him against the ropes, throwing some big right hands on the guy. Mariano, he's open for a fight like what Oscar Duarte like to do. It ended up getting stopped. Like those toe to toe fights and it went the wrong way. I think Duarte has underrated power, but he takes a lot of dumb punches. The punches he takes makes no sense. I ain't Duarte throwing some big right hands. Yeah, this dude, Duarte gonna have the power for this fight, but as far as the boxing and defense, the agility, movement, yeah, it's not gonna be there. They gotta take advantage of that. They gotta definitely take advantage. But I wonder what time this undercard probably comes on. Probably midday, like usual. Yeah, this guy Phillips, he fights tomorrow. I've seen him fight before. But yeah, he's a real deal. Might have to do a breakdown on him. He throws a nasty left hook. He got a nasty left hook. Kind of looks like Scooter Davis a little bit. They ain't the same, but a body type. Oh yeah, I don't know why I'm tripping. They fought each other. That's why I'm like, who is this? Yeah, this dude fought Scooter Davis. I'm tripping. I'm like, where I know him from? That's where I know him from. Yeah, they got the same body type. They're fighting the same weight class. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I forgot I saw this. Yeah, Scooter Davis remind me of Haney though. Scott Phillips, I don't know who he reminds me of. Oh yeah, I know he reminds me of. I'll write that down. Yeah, we're gonna see what this guy Phillips do tomorrow. We're putting on some decent size. Fighting at 135. Yeah, 135 at 5'11". Yeah, that's a big dude. But yeah, I wonder whoever fights at. I wonder who Sims or Duarte will fight next if they win. Like whoever wins, who will be the next fight? Yeah, I wonder who will be the next fight in that case. Because Sims, he can fight a lot of people just as well as Duarte. Duarte already fought Ryan Garcia, so it's not too many people. Duarte could just fight that's gonna be bigger than Ryan Garcia anyway. So yeah, he got a lot of options. If I was a fighter, I would try to get in the ring with him anyway. Especially with the names he putting together. If Sims is able to pull this off, this would be a big win for him. Yeah, he'll be the only one to get people out of there like this guy. Then they got this new guy, Gallardo, on Golden Boy. I think he just recently got signed. We're gonna see what he do tomorrow. I forgot who he's fighting. He fighting Rankin. Yeah, that might be a tricky fight. Rankin might be able to get with him tomorrow. Like that whole undercard on Golden Boy gonna be good tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna be all knockouts. I ain't looked at it that much. I know it's gonna be competitive because I know Duarte gonna try to go for a knockout. If I was Sam's, I would just try to swing. Cause dude get hit hard. Duarte was getting hit hard his last fight, even though he ended up with a 7th round stoppage. He was getting punched hard that last fight. Yeah, they got Gallardo who's fighting on Golden Boy tomorrow. He look like a big puncher, but he opens up a lot, so it's gonna be an action-packed fight tomorrow. Rankin gonna have a chance. Then they had this young guy called Cabrera. Uh, Gil Cabrera, 8-0. Weight class he at? They got super weight. Yeah, tomorrow gonna be his first 8-round fight. He fighting some Cuban fighter. So yeah, he should get a knockout in that. Could have all knockouts on this card. One, two, three, four. Yeah, this might you might have knockouts all the way until the co-main event. I don't know if Prograis gonna end up stopping Diaz. There's one guy Cockers. He's not a big puncher, so might not be a knockout in that fight. But the first 3 or 4 fights could end up being knockouts. Yeah, I'm actually watching the undercard. I've been paying attention to the last couple of Golden Boy undercards. Yeah, they've been watching. Yeah, they've been watching. What was that one card everybody was watching? McNamara and Fogel. Yeah, they watched that fight card. So yeah, they know what I'm talking about. Cause that wasn't a big fight at all. That was like pro box level. Golden Boy got a lot of prospects now. They moving in. I'm not too impressed by a lot of them yet, but we'll see. It's always like that a lot of times. I'm not impressed by a lot of fighters they have early. Yeah, this dude Conquer, I think he's like 6'5", 6'6". Yeah, he's pretty good though. Big dude though. I think he's fighting a 200 cruiserweight. His weight all over the place. He's a small guy for that weight class. I know he's tall, but he's a small dude for that weight class. Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do in that weight class, but we're gonna see. They got a guy named Carl Cruz. I seen him fight a couple times. Got a nice right hand, but I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen Fedora. They say he's 200, but he look like he's the same size as Pacheco, and maybe it's the way I'm looking at things. Solid for 200 though. If he's 6'5". Yeah, we gotta see this. But Golden Boys had him for 5 years now. Yeah, I've seen him fight a couple times. Maybe tomorrow I'll see what I'm expecting. Hasn't been the type of fights that I was expecting from him yet. Well, I'm trying to figure out how good dude is, but we'll see sooner or later. Right now, I don't know how good he is. What's up, Mike Ross? It sounds like Edwards tomorrow. His opponent has a good left hand. Edwards is fast. Oh yeah, Edwards a beast. He should have. Edwards should have had an investigation with that Olympic situation. But in the pros, yeah, Edwards gonna be a problem. Yeah, I expect another knockout for him. I don't think he fighting a veteran or nothing like that. Let me see. I think he's fighting a yeah, he fighting a prospect. Young guy's 4-1 out of Minnesota. Say the dude weigh 260 right now. He weighed 230. Now he weighs 260. We'll see. Yeah, he needs a challenge, man. Yeah, it's gonna be quick and easy though. I think with Edwards fighting this guy, Audi, Ade, I think his name is Audi. Yeah, he's gonna knock him out early. Edwards fights ain't going past 2 rounds. Yeah, so I can see this guy getting knocked out first round to be real. Yeah, I think Edwards might knock this guy out first round. And the crazy part is he just fought recently. Yeah, he just fought June 28th. That's why when somebody say, yeah, he's gonna fight again, I'm like, wow, it just fought already. I haven't looked up his opponent. I didn't think I could find any kind of videos on him, but check this guy out. Oh yeah, I got a video on him right here. Oh yeah, he's not horrible, but he's definitely getting up out of there though. Yeah, he getting them up out of there. Yeah, he gonna make that quick and easy. I watched the video yesterday with Diillian Whyte. I don't know, man. He almost. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know what's gonna happen between now and 2 weeks from now, but he almost had me picking him to beat Moses Atama. Because I knew recently, I said, man, they're gonna end up trying to feed him to the wolves. And I think he understands that now because that's kind of how he was responding. Feed him to the wolves. Eh, As long as he knows it. That's why he said, I'm gonna go ahead and take this Moses Atama fight. And man, a lot of guys who were considered good heavyweights could not beat Diillian Whyte. So it's not easy saying that Atama can go in there and beat that guy. And Diillian Whyte feels disrespected. And a lot of other heavyweights, they don't want to take the fight. And Diillian Whyte is going out of his way to take the fight. He going out his way to take the fight, and that's something that you want in boxing, man. To be honest with you, the way he was talking, he was like, "I know they're trying to set me up, but I'm just trying to get rid of this guy." If you know somebody trying to set you up, just prepare for the setup, or you feel like you getting set up. Got to handle business right now. Diillian Whyte smart, man. He knows right now everybody has to show up and take a tough fight. It's not gonna be easy right now. Whether it's Moses Otama, who's considered a prospect, or a guy they're hyping up like the next Mike Tyson. He said Turkey out of sheet call. He like, man, forget it. Just make the fight. I'm not even gonna think about it because I already know where I'm at. Yeah, because he already know where he's at. It's not a lot of options right now. And they were talking about putting him in the ring with Parker. And then they come to him through Turkey for a shot at Moses. And he like, yeah, go ahead and do it. I don't think he was avoiding the Parker situation. I think he was just more so disrespected or felt disrespected that he got to go through Otama to get a chance at anything. So then he said Chisora had said something to him allegedly about why are you taking this fight? And he just feel like Chisora trying to take the easy way out instead of challenging himself, trying to be the best. Dillian Whyte said he's trying to be the best right now. And if that means going out there trying to stop a guy they're trying to compare as the next Mike Tyson, whatever, then that's what you got to do. But if he can shut that hype down, he'll definitely be the man regardless. So, but it's a huge risk you're taking because you don't want to be a guy who got stopped by a 20-year-old and you're considered elite. But that's boxing though. Like you said, I'm trying to be the best. You take a risk like that all the time. It is what it is. People wouldn't understand because they don't get in the ring. That's the way he put it. And that's true. And I respect it because a lot of guys are trying to move around in certain places and situations or promoters. And whether he's behind a promoter or not, he's making his own decision right now. And that's what works. That's definitely a good decision, man. I think this is a big fight. Because to be honest with you, I got tired of them uh, finding hard times to find a fight for the Tama fight. People holding back on that fight way too much. I thought Warley was gonna take the fight, then somebody else. Then they threw Bacoli name out there 2 months. As soon as Dillian Whyte name came up, he took the fight though. I gotta admit it. I don't think nobody else turned it down. I'm just saying he's entertaining it right now. Yeah, all the hype gotta stop. So gotta see if it's real or not. And I'm glad too because you don't want to have too much hype going on or dragging on. It's not necessary right now. So if Atomic is the real thing, we're gonna find out with the help of Dillian Whyte. Yeah, I think a lot more guys could have actually took the fight, but I don't think they believe they can actually get past the young guy. They'll say they believe, but I don't think they believe they can get past the young guy. I think it'll be a real struggle for a lot of these guys. He said, "Why ain't Vergil signed before when Xander had?" What you mean, Ghost? Shout out to Ghost 787. I know that Vergil was supposed to fight Fundora last year, and then this year Xander Zayas was supposed to fight Fundora, and that didn't happen. As far as with Vergil and Xander Zayas, I didn't know too much about. Oh, you was talking about earlier this year when they had the Madrimov. They already had the Madrimov fight set up. You remember earlier this year, and that's when Xander said, "I'll fight anybody." So that's the only time they was actually close to fighting, or could have. But the dude Madrimov was like, "Nah, I'm gonna just fight Xander Zayas. I ain't gonna fight Volchuk." Then when he fought Xander Zayas, somebody still sick. But yeah, that was the closest when they was that's the only time they was close to fighting. Besides that, I never really seen them with a chance to fight. But yeah, they know what time it is with Xander though. Let me see if I can pull this picture up. Yeah, he pulled up on Fendora though. I said to myself, Fendora better fight this dude next. Yeah, when he did this, I'm like, oh, okay. He's trying to fight him. So as far as with um Vergil Ortiz, he never had a chance to fight Xander because Xander ain't really have nothing for him to fight for. We know he fought Volchuk last year, then Madrimov. I think the Madrimov situation kind of messed things up for that fight, but you know, it is what it is. They'll have an opportunity to fight. Now, if Xander lead a weight class, because Vergil ain't been at 154 long. If Xander Zayas lead the weight class, that's probably the only way that fight possibly couldn't happen, but should be happening at least by next year, early next year. If you don't have anything else going on, you got a belt. I don't know who they lining up for Vergil next. I heard it's supposed to be a homecoming fight, and it's not gonna be Bakaram, so we know that's not gonna happen. Uh, Fedora, I don't think that's gonna happen either right now. It could though. You never know. But we got to see though. I knew if when Crawford left 54, it was gonna be like a guy just standing around trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah, 54 is just. I'm gonna tell you what 154 is right now. Cause we just had Tim do a Fedora fight, and like, I know why they fought, but this is what 54 is right now. Dudes is like, hey, I knew as soon as Crawford left 154, it wasn't gonna be a lot of movement going on. Everybody was placing themselves for a Crawford fight, and Canelo ended up saying yes, and that's how everything went. But yeah, they got a lot of standards at 54. A lot. The dude Bakaram, I thought he would be a fight that anybody would have next. But I heard, Lubin was a guy that was supposed to have the fight. But the man ain't fought since October, and it's August. And he was injured. And I think he got off the injury like in May, June, or something like that. But he's been training longer than that though. Yeah, guy, he needs to get active. I have a feeling he'll be at 160 by the end of next year. He kind of already alluded to that a little bit, but dude will be at 160 by next year. I think a few guys will. I wouldn't be surprised you see Tim Zoo at 160 eventually. Yeah, because he's a big dude at 54. Yeah, so they do if they're doing anything at 54 that's like I wouldn't say a tune up, but it's not if it's not a top 10 fight, they wasting their time right now. Everybody done had some kind of issues where, you know, it's been hard to get to where they at right now. Fedora had to fight back after the knockout loss. I know Vergil had a situation in 47. Yeah, 54 needs to start moving very soon. I know they got boosts at the weight class, but you can't rely on just boosts at that weight class. Like he haven't even had a fight at 154 yet. We put responsibility on him. Yeah, after he has a fight at 54, then you can be like, yeah, know what kind of role he gonna play. But yeah, we should already have a few of these names clashing. Got to remember, Tim Zoo and Fedora was a rematch. We have Thurman hanging around in 54 and Ramos. We got to see what happens. Yeah, I would say it's quiet around 1, 2, 3, 4, because nothing official yet. Yeah, that's too many names where it's quiet around right now. That whole 54 weight class is quiet. So yeah, Vergil Ortiz probably gonna be the next one to make a move again. It might not be the next fight, but it will be a move made. That's why Tim Zoo being out of the picture is. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird because the guy was putting the fights on. Now he's been getting knocked out lately. But I don't know if anybody's gonna try to duplicate his resume anytime soon. We still have Brian Mendoza hanging around, unless he moved up to 60. What's up, Food Dangles? It's a version full of and salty. You talking about what you was saying about the resume? Yeah, the resume. What he was saying about the resume at 22, I don't know. Xander ain't got no trash resume at 22. It's not bad. Trust me, I would say if it's trash. It's not bad. He ain't got no Loma on there or nothing crazy like that. But at 22, it's decent. I mean, it's not his fault that Charles Conwell lost. So that would have been the fight he would have had. And then it's not his fault that Fundora fought Tim Zoo instead. So dude's resume would actually be pretty good. That's how I'm looking at it. But would I put Xander Zayas over Vergil right now? Nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put a lot of guys over Vergil right now. The only person I would put over Vergil at 54 right now would probably be Fundora and I don't know. I like Baccarat, but I think Vergil Ortiz can get with Baccarat though. A lot of people ain't gonna say that to y'all, but I think Vergil Ortiz can get with Baccarat though. But I would still say Baccarat, he's up there though. But with Xander, I don't know, man. Xander could be better than Boachuk right now. I think I think Virgil knows that though, but he still feel like, man, I'm better than dude. Even though he's a beast, he probably the best prospect or best champion, young champion we had in a long time. He just feel like he's better, and I can't knock it. He said Virgil only want Earl or Jamel according to a recent interview. Dang, he said that. Yeah, I knew they was talking about the Jamel fight and Earl. I knew they was talking about Earl with a lot of different names recently. I think that was like a Texas thing they was trying to do. They're trying to get like a Texas fight with Virgil versus Earl or Jamel. You know, an all Texas fight, which wouldn't be bad. That would actually be good. It's kind of how everybody blew up the last time with the Mikey Garcia versus Spence fight in Texas. If they could duplicate something like that, because Virgil already fought Majramov and Boachuk coming off I think a hand injury, something like that. So if he can fight Jamel Charlo with somebody coming off an injury, yeah, that would be a good fight. You said by next June he'll be at 160. Dang, everybody keeps saying that. Dang, everybody keeps saying that. Yeah, I was hearing Tim Zoo talk about he would have been at 160 by the end of this year. And then we got a fighter. Liam Paro just moved up to 47. That's a lot of dudes moving up right now, which is natural. You know, it happens in boxing. This is normal, but a lot of people moving up at the same time. It's like all these divisions starting to look different. Now 147 gonna have Liam Paro added. I think 160 sooner or later is gonna have a lot of guys from 54. It's gonna be a lot of fights. Don't be surprised. But it'll be a lot of fights at 54 that won't happen until they get to 160. I don't know what it is, but I think 154 is cursed when it comes to setting up some of these fights. It was the same way. If you look back over time, it's been the same way when 154. They'll put on a good fight, but they'll let most of the fights get away. Most of the good fights, they'll let them get away. They let Baccaram and Charlo get away. After that, I was like, man, I don't really got no faith in 154. The only reason I started to pay attention a little bit was because, Charlo, I'm not Charlo, but Crawford, he shined light on 54 again. But yeah, something told me last year that a lot of these fights might happen at 160. I don't want to act like I know everything. I'm just saying. The biggest fight we had at 54 this year is what? What's the biggest fight we had at 154 this year? Fedor and Tim Tszyu? Or I can't believe I'm about to ask this question. These are the four biggest fights we had at 54 this year. I may be wrong. I'm just going off the top of my head. Uh, Fedor, Tim Tszyu, Jorge Garcia, and Charles Conwell. Vergil and Madrimov. Yeah, it's not too many, bro. To be honest with you. Not too many. Then you still got what, Charlo out there? Yeah, it looks like next year. We in August right now? Man, they finna drag this to next year. Watch. Crawford would have been 40 years old by the time they did something at 154. I might have to do a video about that. The way they're moving right now, Crawford would have been 40 years old by the time they did Undisputed at 54. They're not in any rush. That's why Xander Zayas is showing up right now. I'm glad he showed up. I'm glad he got a belt because if they say, well, he doesn't, nobody's fighting him because of politics or whatever, that's going to be bad. I just want to see if the politics still play a part as far as him getting a fight with other people. Because them saying he going to fight Santillan, I don't like that. Nah, I don't like the Santillan fight. Yeah, I hope that's just a rumor though. I haven't really looked into it and seen where that rumor came from. He's the same with Valgaron. He'll be 60 soon. Looking at 60 rankings, Zayas will be do well. Yeah, he would. Yeah, Janet gonna move up. Yeah, Janet gonna move up. I wanted Janet to fight Shiraz. People were saying that Sherrod ducked Janovic, but to be honest with you, I think that fight was in negotiations or something, and they passed it up. But that actually was gonna be a good fight, Shiraz and Janovic. But Janovic, he passed up so many fights. He's actually ruined that division. Now, I would say Xander Zayas has done more to get his belts than Janovic did. And Janovic has 2 belts right now. So yeah, I thought Shiraz and Janovic was gonna happen. I think Janovic gonna move up by then. He's gonna be a 68. But 68 is no joke. By the end of next year, Janovic gonna be a 68. But like I said, 68 is no joke. You got Shiraz at 68. You got Pacheco. You got a lot of guys. Iglesias. I think by then Blanco gonna be older. And Billy still in the weight class. Yeah, Janovic gonna be a regular guy at 168. Nah, Shiraz ain't duck Janovic. Nah, they had it was well, I can't say that because it's not. I can't say that. Well, I can't say why, but yeah, he didn't duck him though. Because right now, Shiraz, not Shiraz, but Adamas is trying to fight well, he was trying to fight Janovic. But now Turkey is saying that he wanted to settle the fight between Adamas and Janovic. And Adamas is like, I don't know about that. Last time I fought with Turkey, they almost took my belt. They gave me a draw. I don't know if I'm trying to go over there again and lose my belt. But yeah, he didn't duck though. That was what the word around town though, that he did duck Janovic. But no, Adamas is, in my opinion, Adamas is a harder fight than Janovic. And I just don't see Janovic doing Shiraz the way that Adamas did. As we seen recently, Adamas just went to 168 and cleaned out Berlanga. Now, a fight in the future you possibly could see is somebody like Janovic moving up to 68 and fight somebody like Berlanga. We already seen Berlanga fight a 160 already. That could happen, but I want to see Janovic fight Lara, to be honest with you. If they can make that fight happen, I would like to see that. But I think they're possibly saving that for an undisputed fight because Lara will have 1 belt, then I guess Janovic will have 3 belts. But yeah, Adamas, he don't trust that fighting over there with Turkey right now, so he's not even trying to fight Janovic no more. So he is going to be looking like he's ducking. So if you say he's ducking, yeah, he's ducking right now. I can't argue with that. But he's not going to because I was wondering recently, I'm like, why would he turn down the Turkey fight? Then I forgot already he's having issues with Turkey because of the Shiraz fight. But I think the ducking is kind of going away for the most part. For the most part, I think the ducking is going away. As I said before, the people who aren't fighting now, it's most of the big names and guys who already was having trouble picking fights. You know what I'm saying? If it was new guys that was getting ducked or that was ducking, I would say, oh man, what's going on? But it's the same guys from last year, so I wouldn't say it's nothing different. But I actually thought fighting Adamas was huge, though. I actually gave him credit for that. I thought that was a huge fight. That was my favorite fight of the year before it happened. During the fight and after, I ain't like all that. But yeah, he wants Genevieve bad, not on the Turkey card. Yeah, that sucks that Turkey want to put that fight together now. That should have been the fight he put together first. If I was Turkey, I would have put. If I was Turkey, I would have put Genevieve in the ring first. But it looked like behind the scenes they were saying Shiraz fight Adamas, and if you get the belt, then we'll fight for undisputed or try to fight for unification because Laura had the other belt. Yeah, but 160 is about to get. It's about to get good. I'm saying next year 160 is gonna be the new weight class. Yeah, 160 is gonna be the new weight class. 154, it's starting to become a little watered down now. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Tell the truth. It's getting watered down a little bit. We have Boots and Vergil Ortiz there. But is it a real push behind them to make this fight happen? Probably next year. I can see the fight happening next year. Late next year. Like around this time. Yeah, I can see that happening next year. And the reason I would say they would wait then is because just the injuries, the Boots just moving up, all the other stuff that's going on around both guys. And then Crawford and Canelo, the way I think, I would have had Boots and Vergil Ortiz on the Crawford and Canelo card. I know most people would be like, that doesn't make sense. Actually, it does. Because if they're the next generation of fighters, those are the most eyes you're going to see on one fight. So you go, you would love to have the next rivalry or big rivalry in boxing as a co-main event. Because then that's when you can come back and be like, you know what? We should do a second fight, a third fight. Then the second and third fight will be on its own card. Then everybody would know these guys. And with their popularity that they gained from the first fight, you'll have other fighters that'll gain popularity from fighting on their cards. It'll be a domino effect. I don't know everything, but I'm saying the way they build fights now, it's like they're doing it now like we still have cable TV and it's not the internet. They got to realize what's going on. People getting the information. People are reacting to everything. They're not going to sit around and just study for a fight before it happens because you're saying these guys are the best. Man, in sports and boxing and UFC, they say everybody's the best these days. So as a casual, I wouldn't know who's the best. I'm not gonna lie. On UFC, they say everybody's the best. Yeah, PBC got the card coming the end of September. You said May 2027. Hey, that's a good date, bro. That is a good date. I cannot lie. Because I can see more of the attention being on Benavidez and possibly Haney if he pulled his win off over Norman next year. And whatever big fights Boots and Vergil Ortiz can have at 54, they can possibly ride that wave into 2027. Yeah, I actually said Shakur and Tank 2027, 2026 on a video I did last year. Yeah, I seen it coming. I said, let me go ahead and put this out. But with Ortiz and Boots, yeah, I can see 2027. Because next year you still have Benavidez and you got Bibble and Bitterbill. And I think the only reason that's actually happening this way is because a couple of those rematches messed a lot of things up. It seemed like they was already planning these things during the pandemic. So once they hit 2024 and 2025, they already knew how things were going to go, but it didn't go that way. That's why now when guys get hurt, Turkey just pull them out of the fight. Instead of postponing fights, like when Dubois got hurt against, I mean, he had the sickness against Joseph Parker. Turkey just called up Bukoli like, hey, I need you to fill in. He doesn't have too much experience with this, but dude is not happy about doing canceling fights or postponing fights. He's like, if I got to replace you the week of the fight, I will do it. Yeah, it would happen after Canelo and Bud retired. Yeah, they don't have any fights as big as that right now. I know they got Tank and Shakur, but they're not in the same position to fight right now, to be honest with you. Tank has a rematch and other stuff going on. Boost and Vergil Ortiz are closer to fight, so yeah, that's why I can see you. I agree with that. After they retire, you know, boxing is just they do that sometimes. They don't want guys to take shine away from certain people while they're still fighting. Yeah, they'll destroy a fight to benefit another fighter. It happens all the time. Oh yeah, Benavidez is gonna fight Morrell again one day. Morrell has to look better though. Now, if he beats Smith, nah, he's not gonna rematch Morrell probably until 2027, if possible. If Morrell goes out there and looks impressive the rest of this year and next year, yeah, they could probably look at it 2027. But Benavidez, he has so many names that's bigger than Morrell. He probably not gonna circle back for that until like 3 years from now, when they in their 30s or something. If Morrell is still, in that position where he's fighting at a high level, because Benavidez has Zerto, um, Bitterbill, Bibble, just a lot of names popping up. Guys that want to fight him. It's a lot of names. He was saying he'll fight heavyweights. He won't fight Usyk, but I think once he starts doing that, I don't know if he's going to circle back for a Morrell fight. He may be too big by then. They say he gets big in between fights, so he may be too big to circle back by then, or just doesn't want to. After a while, people forget that Benavidez is young. When you get older, he's probably not going to want to lose all that weight. Canelo doesn't want to go through losing the weight as much anymore either. He's not dropping down to 160. Once he went to 168, he stayed there. He might go up to 75, but he's not going down. So I think Benavidez, once he gets to cruiserweight, I don't know if he'll circle back for Morrell. So yeah, like you said, Morrell beat Smith. If he puts himself in position, that's why I said Morrell having that performance the last fight, he didn't look impressive to the point where Benavidez should go out there and fight him again. That's why he got to go out there and take a lot of these fights serious. He was playing around a little bit too much, and that stopped people from talking about him a little bit. Now they're talking about the guy he was fighting. That's why I was so upset with Morrell's performance. I'm like, that kind of hurt the rematch. I didn't look at it as like that at the time, but now when you look at it, you can realize, him playing around against the Katiev guy getting dropped, that kind of hurt the chances of Benavidez rematching him. Because now, if you pull a poll up and you ask a lot of people, hey, would you rather see Benavidez fight the guy that Morrell just fought? Or would you rather see him fight Morrell? They'll probably say they want to see Benavidez fight the guy Morrell just fought because Morrell got dropped by him. So yeah, Morrell dropped the ball on that one a little bit. He got to mature a little better. Some other stuff going on too around that situation. And he's making his trainer look bad too. Ronnie Shields, who's a highly decorated trainer. Then we got Vergil Ortiz still responding to Xander Zayas. Told him, talk to me when you fight a top 10 opponent. Sorry, not champion. Yeah, they currently going back and forth right now. I don't think Vergil Ortiz clout chase. He just saying was just speaking his mind. Sometimes, they can be disrespectful to other people. But he's a boxer though. He ain't thinking about no manners. He said, talk to me when you fight a top 10 opponent. Man. Yeah, dude starts talking like that, you know what time it is. So is Xander Zayas gonna fight a top 10 opponent anytime soon? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. That fight they're talking about was Santion. Xander Zayas fighting the guy that Brian Norman knocked out at 47. That absolutely cannot happen. I mean, top rank just left ESPN, and this is what we doing. We already got rumors of them going all kind of places. So we know top ranking is not going to Netflix or anything. Netflix just put on big fights anyways. They don't do I think the whole promotional situation. But I know Netflix is like, nah, I'm not finna put on Xander Zayas versus Santion. They gonna be like, what about the Brian Norman guy? That's what Netflix gonna say. They gonna say, oh, that's what Santion just got knocked out by, but nah, we can't get him. Oh no, we don't want him. We want Brian Norman. We don't want the guy who got knocked out by him. No, I like Santion. No, I think he's a problem at 47. Now at 54, I don't know. That ain't really no fight I'm really looking at. That's exciting. I hope that's a rumor though. I haven't seen too much on it. But sometimes, man, these rumors get real. They cannot entertain a fight like that. Is it pressure on Xander Zayas to make the fight, or does anybody else have to go and make a fight with him? That's the only thing I'm kind of looking at. Are we making a fight with you, or are you chasing the big fights? Like I said, he's only 22, so there ain't no pressure on him to hurry up and make a decision tomorrow. But he will turn 23 in about 4.5 weeks. So yeah, and Jesus Ramos is 24. Jesus Ramos is 24, and he fought Erickson Lubin when he was 22. And he fought Vladimir Hernandez when he was 21. Then he fought Brian Mendoza when he was 20. So right now, Jesus Ramos has a better resume than Xander Zayas from the age of what, 22? 22 down? Yeah, he got a better resume. It's 22 down. Yeah, he got a better resume. Yeah, he fought Mendoza, Brian Mendoza, Vladimir Hernandez, Santa Maria. And I don't know, the Spencer fight might have been around 20. No, 22 still a Spencer. Lubin 22. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Let's be real. So when Vergil saying that, but shoot, Vergil ain't got that. I don't think Vergil got that on his either, though. Yeah, that's another conversation. Y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. Jesus Ramos already said he's that guy probably 2 years ago, even after he lost to Lubin. And this is the reason why. Student fought Mendoza already, Vladimir Hernandez, Santa Maria, Joey Spencer, who Tim Tszyu just fought recently, Erickson Lubin, and this was all before 22 years old or around 22. 22 and under. And that was all at 54? Yeah, that was all at 54. And most of those guys are still there or around that weight class. So yeah, when Vergil say that, I understand what he's saying, but still, dudes got to take their mandatories, man. Yeah, anytime you drop a belt like Fedora did, yeah, that's never good. That's never good. That's the responsibility falls on him. Yeah, he did just go out there and stop Tim Tszyu or whatever, but yeah, you let Zayas get in with an easy one. Boss says Zayas back in Puerto Rico at the end of the year. I'm glad you said that, Food Dangles. I had wrote on my page when I first got on here that Xander Zayas should fight in Puerto Rico his next fight, and that it should be against Danny Garcia. I know a lot of people like Danny Garcia, bro. Santillan and Danny Garcia is the same fighter. Yeah, Santion and Danny Garcia is the same fighter. That'll be the same type of fight. That'll be a name. Now Garcia is not ranked high like he was, but still a guy who was around there. And he always said what? He didn't want to go out that way with his last fight the way he did. Yeah, unless you Xander Zayas, you make a Keith Thurman fight, people will watch that. But yeah, you got two Puerto Ricans. You'll have Danny Garcia and Xander Zayas take his belt to Puerto Rico, fight for it. Yeah, that would make sense. They're not finna have no super tough fight in Puerto Rico with him in his first title defense. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I didn't know if that was actually said yet. Yeah, that would actually be a good fight though. And shoot, we already hear. I've already heard recently because you still need some guys on the card, and I don't know what Berlanga's situation is, but he's going to continue his career. I'm hoping or expecting him to, and that's another guy you could put on the card without having any kind of big expectations on there, and still would it'll bring some eyes. And Virgil said top 10 opponent. That's crazy. But yeah, I can't wait till they fight. I definitely think they're gonna fight eventually. Virgil and Xander Zayas. When Xander Zayas turn 23 soon, they're gonna be what, only 4 years apart. They close in age, so it's not a big difference. That could be a fight that could be made soon. Yeah, the guy Garcia though, he's not looked at as a big opponent or a big time victory for Xander Zayas, but that was a big win though. After what Garcia did in the Commonwealth fight. Yeah, that was a very big win. And he's a tough opponent too. But he's not like a popular name, so they're not gonna give you credit for it. But anybody who goes out there and beats Charles Conwell, it's definitely a good fighter. You should get credit for beating him. And I'm also seeing this news coming out, and I knew this news was gonna come out eventually. But with Joshua and Jake Paul, I knew that news would eventually happen. I think when I first started talking about it, it looked like clickbait because Joshua is considered someone who wouldn't entertain a fight like that, but he's entertaining the fight. They're in talks. They're talking about money. They're in negotiations. They're going on all kind of platforms with All the promoters talking about it. I knew it was gonna happen. This is the one where everybody's gonna be like, man, I can't believe Jake Paul did this. This is the one. Matter of fact, they're doing it right now. I'm hearing everybody say it's a circus. It's been a circus. But this man getting this is a real fight. I appreciate everybody who supported the live a couple weeks ago when I was talking about this fight too. A couple months ago actually. When I was talking about this fight with Joshua and Jake Paul. A lot of people knew what I was talking about, so I appreciate that. I really do. Because trust me, to have some random guy talking about Jake Paul and Joshua, it's not an easy live to actually sit through when there's no reports of that fight actually happening. And to see it happening now, that's why I'm saying now, I appreciate everybody who sat through the line when there was no evidence of this fight actually happening. So the first thing people do is they'll hear me say something, they'll go to Google like, man, I don't hear about this happening. That doesn't mean it's not gonna happen, but I don't want to be judged based off of Google. But it's a real fight though, because that's what Joshua wants to do. That's what the fighter wants to do. A lot of these guys getting the opportunity to do what they want to do now. It might not be a serious fight to them, but to fans. But maybe they want to be the one who shut this guy up. I think that's mostly what the conversation is about, anyways. They just want to quiet Jake Paul and have him out of the way. But yeah, dude is in serious fights though, and it's not going to slow down either. I think he would have actually been looking at Zerto Ramirez if Zerto ain't have that shoulder injury. I said it was Usyk and Zerto he was talking to, then Joshua. He kept saying he can knock out. I can knock out Joshua. He got on the phone with him. He got on the phone with him. Then after that, the negotiations start getting serious. Yeah, negotiations got very serious. And now we here. But yeah, I'm gonna talk more about that over the next couple of months because it's not going away. It's not going away. I think some of the other news explains the reason why. For some odd reason, it seems like Fury is focused on Usyk a lot more than Joshua. And no matter what, he's gonna force everybody to know that that's the fight he's focused on. Even though they may not want him to focus on that fight, he's gonna focus on Usyk for a third fight. Even with two losses in the first one. In the first two. Yeah, he will. I just want Joshua to get him up out of there, to be honest with you. I want Joshua to get him up out of there. And Joshua will actually do it. He'll get in the ring with him. Joshua will actually do it. And they're having serious talks about this. I seen recently they was on the BBC Sports on the broadcast, like the morning show. And the promoter of MVP Promotions, It's just sitting there talking about Jake Paul and Joshua and the weight and how much Jake Paul weighs. He said something that was funny though. He was like, "Yeah, Jake Paul walks around at 205, 215." He said, but in the Mike Tyson fight, he fought at like 228 or something. Bro, he's not walking around no 215. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else too. Why did this dude even beef up? This is why I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Like badly. I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out badly. And the reason why is because why is this dude weighing in 228 to fight for Mike Tyson, bro? I might have to look up how old Mike Tyson is again. Mike Tyson, 59 years old. This man sat up here and weighed in at 228 for Mike Tyson. Then against Chavez, he come in at 200. Tommy Fury, 183. I'm telling y'all, man. People thought I was going on a rant that was stupid about Jake Paul. This dude put on 20-something pounds to fight Mike Tyson. And you got promoters walking around talking about he walks around at 205, 215. That means this dude put on 30 pounds to fight Mike Tyson at 59. That's why I want Joshua to get him up out of there. That's embarrassing. I'm like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just little small things like that. The average person don't care about none of that stuff I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? They just look at that and like, oh, what is he talking about? He just ran it. But if you look at it, the dude, he's not even close to that weight on nothing else. People will say, oh, that was the heavyweight division. So, bro, you got to put on 20-some pounds to fight Mike. You had to come in the same weight as Mike. If you fighting the heavyweight, why are you the same weight as Mike? And the crazy thing is, he was gonna fight Mike last July. Didn't fight Mike in July. Fought him in November and put on 20-some pounds. Yeah, he was just a weight bully. So he needs to be fighting Joshua at that 227 that he weighed in at. He might be able to walk in there at 240. So Jake Paul could possibly walk in there at 240. Ottawa Lynn weighed 238. Matter of fact, before Ottawa Lynn fought Tyson Fury, so let me tell y'all this. This is funny. Before Ottawa Lynn fought Tyson Fury, he had a fight with Nick Kistner. Against Nick Kistner. This is the fight before. So before Tyson Fury picked Ottawa Lynn to fight him, I don't know why he fought a guy who had a no contest. Before he picked Ottawa Lynn to fight, the last weight that Ottawa Lynn was at, because these dudes love being weight bullies. The last weight he was at was 227. Ottawa Lynn. I'm gonna show y'all the picture so I can pull it up. Ottawa Lynn was at 227. The fight before he fought Tyson Fury. Then when he fought Fury, he was 236. So y'all telling me Jake Paul doing weight jumps from 200 to 228? in 4 months while training. What we do that at? So yeah, he need to be getting in the ring with Anthony Joshua. Absolutely. I'm so serious. If you're gonna be boxing and fighting professionals and your weight going up and down like that, you need to be in the ring, get in the ring with real professionals like Joshua. Absolutely. We don't need guys that's 200-pound heavyweights fighting guys like that. This dude weight is all over the place. Then he jumped in the ring with Mike like that, so he ain't got no respect for Mike. You know you fighting the Hall of Famer. You going there the same weight as him and everything. Yeah, that's nasty work, to be honest with you. Very nasty. Very nasty. No way I'm going out. I'm just being honest with y'all. No human being, whether you're a professional, you find a professional, whatever it is. That's just like me or anybody else playing Michael Jordan at 59 and we trying to make sure that we the same weight as him. And come on, man. Like, dude 59. You in your prime, this dude 59. Like, what else do you want? You got to be the same weight. So, yeah, that's why Joshua and a lot of other fighters is like, bro, that was disgusting. He needs to get knocked out. So, a lot of people are like, why are these guys trying to fight him? Yeah, it has something to do with popularity and everything else and notoriety. But like I said already, I don't know why other fighters haven't broke it down like that. But, yeah, dude took any kind of advantage he did against Mike in a professional fight. And it was considered a real professional fight on Mike Tyson's real professional record. Jay Paul need to get his tail out there and fight a real professional fighter. Nah. This dude dropping 30 pounds and picking back up 30 pounds. Nah, we ain't doing that. You getting treated just like a real boxer then. You want to be a real boxer? Get criticized like one. Any person dropping 30 pounds and picking them up in professional boxing needs to be fighting real heavyweights. End of story. You putting on 30 pounds to fight a 60-year-old man, you need to be getting knocked out. And the fact that he ain't even getting criticized like that, yeah, he needs to continue boxing. Yeah, let's see how long everybody gonna continue to look the other way. He definitely needs to continue boxing. Cause I want to see how long everybody is gonna ignore a car wreck. He definitely needs to continue. But yeah, this is a real fight that definitely needs to happen. Some stuff like this needs to happen, man. It goes that way sometimes. I don't think Fury jumping in the ring with Ngannou had any effect at this point. I thought it would. You know what I'm saying? Me, but that was my ignorant thinking. You know, I'm thinking that a guy like Fury getting dropped by a guy like Ngannou was crazy, but it had like a normal reaction to it. So I'm kind of like, okay. So yeah, at this point, we just seen it all. So some stuff can happen at this point. I'm not really against most things like I was before, because I've realized even when something is a mismatch, you can always find out. Like, let's just say somebody goes in there and they fight a guy who's shouldn't be in the ring with him. What if the guy looks good? You can get embarrassed even in a win. So I think with a lot of these fights, that can actually happen. Like with Jake Paul and Joshua, maybe they will use that to build up a fight some way into Fury and Joshua. Who knows? That'll be the second time Joshua fought a guy, got revenge for a guy in Fury's family. Well, not revenge, but fought a guy who, the first time was revenge, but Jake Paul lost the fight to Fury. Not revenge, but the first fight was revenge. Still thinking about the Ngannou situation, but in this situation, it would just be a common opponent between a member of the Fury family that he has never fought. It would be that situation. But with Ngannou and Fury, I thought that fight would actually happen. I'm like, dang man, dude ain't gonna get his rematch. I said something about that last year. I'm like, wow, we're not doing rematch clauses anymore. I don't want to be the guy that has to bring stuff up like this because you know you're not gonna be looked at as a nice person if you bring up simple mistakes like this. But rematches clauses are not really being enforced like that with Turkey. It's a lot of rematches I've heard that were supposed to happen that didn't happen. I think they were saying Zane at one point was supposed to have one, and Ganu. Yeah, a lot of that stuff was going on. Joshua with Dubois. Sometimes if you're not in a position to rematch somebody, you just can't do it. But it's not a lot of rematches getting enforced recently. Certain ones, like the most popular fight, like a Bitterbeer or a Fury. That's why I said the third fight is useless. It's too many other fights that's been passed up already. But yeah, it's so many things that's getting made right now, and so many transitions being made. I still think next year has potential to be bigger than this year, but it's a lot of movement going on. It's a lot of guys switching divisions right now. I don't think we can actually put the best fights together right now until all the movement stops happening. We just had Keyshawn go to 140. Like I said, Liam Paul was going to 147. There's so many people moving around. I think you won't have most of these other fights straightened out until next year when you see where everyone's at after all the movement happens. Because I think guys are starting to realize now I can't fight 3 times a year and I'm weighing in at the same weight class I'm at right now. Let me try to move up so I can get adjusted. I don't want to have to try to, come in overweight and wait and miss a payday. Guys don't want to fail no weigh-in and a turkey card. You will have to be the stupidest person ever to come in overweight on turkey's card. So I think that's why a lot of guys are like, you know what? I'm gonna move up. Even Shiraz moving up. To my a lot of people. Smart decision. Even Munguia did that at 68. He's a big guy too. And I don't know how he's gonna stay at 168 in the future. Too long, especially past 26, 2026. I don't know how he's gonna stay. I seen him in a couple of photos. Dude's a big dude, man. If that PEDs had anything to do with his weight loss, if it helped even a little bit, he might be at 75 soon. He might have an issue like Benavidez did, or might has one. Cause he had a picture with Canelo I seen. I was like, wow, this dude looks fat. Yeah, he looked pretty big, man. So we got to see what happens with these fights coming up. But I think tomorrow's gonna be some very good fights. Very good fights. I think a lot of people are sleeping on these matchups that's coming on this card. Golden Boy's been having some very good undercards. I think they've been focusing in on more prospects. That's why they've been moving fast on guys like Schofield. You know, they've been having Zepeda holding him out on fights for a minute now. Finally fought Shakur. Got Zayas still. So yeah, Duarte is supposed to be the next guy, but we're gonna see what happens with him and Kenneth Sims. I don't know if everybody's seen the weigh-in. The face-off was pretty serious. Seemed like it's gonna be a very good fight tomorrow. I'm expecting a war. Could be a fight of the year type of fight. I know that people say that a lot, but in August, I would have to see. Let me go look at August. I don't know, man. This could be the best fight to come on in the month of August. I'm looking at other fights. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else better. As far as style matchup, the Moses Atama and Diillian Whyte fight, that's probably the closest one. But yeah, this might be the best style matchup of the month of any fight. So we're talking about the best fight of the month, possibly happening tomorrow. Then there's no boxing coming on. Well, next week we're having Andrew Maloney and Cortez. I don't know if everybody gonna watch that. Then, Automata the week after that. But next week it's not gonna be a lot of boxing on, so I don't know if people want to tune into that, but we'll see. But I appreciate everybody for coming through the live, man, checking everything out. I'll let you guys later on.